Okay, so all of you tuning in today, we're going to have a real discussion on money. This is the shit that you're not going to hear everybody else say. You're going to hear a division of classes. You know, average income people, they're going to tell you, oh, the rich get rich, the poor get poor. They love cliches. They love saying stupid shit with no basis behind it. No, the rich don't get richer. The educated get richer. The people who refuse to educate themselves get poorer. Wealthy people don't steal money from regular people. They earn it. I know that hurts the woke generation. And if you haven't left yet because you don't like what we're about to hear, now you're going to learn how people generate money and the truth about money. I'm going to introduce our guest because I'm assuming you already know who the f*** I am. This is Neil. What do you do, Neil?
I'm an engineer. Yeah, master's degree in chemical engineering and then started in oil. Now I'm senior management in an oil company.
Beautiful.
Myself, I'm Scott. I've worked in the snubbing industry or hydraulic workover industry, oil and gas. No secondary education other than the apprenticeship program, which allowed me to get a wellhead boom truck journeyman ticket as well as a crane truck ticket, so I can run cranes as long as they're about 100 ton or smaller. No other previous education, high school, and apprenticeship.
Right on. So here you go. You're talking working class people. So forget that shit that working class people don't get ahead. No. Average working class people that don't invest, waste their time on shit like gossip and getting too much credit. None of that. You're going to learn a few things, or you're just going to think we're opinionated assholes. I don't even need to tell you what I do, because if you don't know who I am, eventually you're going to learn and you're going to find out where our hands are all the way around the world. So as pretentious as that sounds, we're going to get into this. This is a true discussion about money. These are going to be talking points. This isn't Q&A. If you have a question on any of the talking points that we do, you're welcome to put it in the comments. We will read all of them, positive or negative, and we will get back to you. I promise that. So let's get into this. We're just hard-hitting straight off the bat. Money. Understand that money, the way you think of it, does not exist. A dollar bill only exists to quantify a person's time. A $20 bill exists so the average person can understand what an hour of their life is worth. You give an employer an hour, they give you a $20 bill. A wealthy person has no idea what $20 is. Not because they're worth a lot, because they would never trade their time for a paper currency. And just to prove that money doesn't exist, when I was, say, 10 years old, and yeah, it's a long time ago, there wasn't even as much money in the world as the 5 richest people have now. Money shouldn't be created if it has a value. But if you can print another $1 trillion tomorrow, that proves that money doesn't exist because it's not tied to a value. You think it has a value because when you want to go on holidays or buy a car, you have to justify how many hours or months or year you have to work to equate to a value. Billionaires don't have to. Multimillionaires don't have to. They just acquire things. There is no paper. Understand that. So let's get into this. Money does not exist. Does anybody have any disagreements on that or anything to add?
No? Not really.
All right, so let's go to the next one because everybody asked. And I'm sorry if this is ruder than we usually do stuff, but there's certain things that we could say to not offend people that are all these sensitive snowflakes because they're all worried about, oh, well, I'm not achieving, so it's somebody else's fault. I'm going to tell you guys the real answers and statements on questions that have been asked over COVID. We tried helping everybody by creating programs. Now we're just going to show you. Understand this. When you ask, oh, the secret to making money is passive income. So everybody asks us, how do you make passive income? Well, my first question is, do you even have any active income to invest? No? Then work on your active income. Go work an hour of overtime. Get a second job. Because coming to us to ask how you make passive income, what are you going to make it out of? You have no money to invest that can just make you money on the side. Get your active income going. Anything to add on that? We're not even going into investing yet, but let's be honest. If you don't have any money to do anything with,
if you don't have anything to start with, then you can't invest it.
Pretty straightforward, right? Like they got even nothing to add to this, and these guys know how to make money. So there you go. Without active income, don't even bother with passive income. Don't say work smarter, not harder, or some other stupid fucking cliche that people need to sell you a book say. Fuck that shit. Okay? You're gonna have to get your hustle on, and you're gonna have to earn some more active income long before passive. We'll go to the third talking point. You do not make money. No one in this room makes money. You have to take money. The only people that make money is the fucking government. You try making money, they're gonna lock your ass up. So when you wake up in the morning, the only way you're going to get ahead is you got to figure out how to go take money and not steal it. You got to figure out, what am I going to do? Am I going to produce a product where people can fucking buy it so I can take money from them? We bought coffee on the way over here. The people that own the coffee shop took money from us. Change the way you look at things and your life will change. Thoughts on that?
Agreed.
So we're all in agreement. Wow, look at, these are people that know how to make money, and this is so straightforward to everybody else.
Yeah.
Have we said anything that requires any type of fucking rocket science degree here?
Not really.
Okay, wow. So are we learning, or are you just guys getting mad at me for saying this shit?
Everybody's too busy crying about not having money or not wanting to do this. Everybody wants to work 6 hours a day, be rich tomorrow.
Yeah, you nailed that one.
They don't want to work.
They want better than average, but they want to put in less than average. I'm sorry, grade 3 math makes that addition and subtraction not work. There, we just solved all your problems for you. Next point. You do not, saving money will never make you wealthy. We know 8, 9, 10, 11 figure people. Has any of them ever told you you're going to do really well if you just save your money?
No,
Has
you
anybody here heard-
No.
got to invest it.
Okay?
No.
Saving is investing as well. It depends how you define it, right? So some people save money, but it's where you put it that makes the difference.
Yeah, it's one thing to have it sitting in a bank, leave it as a 3% inflation, which now we'd love, but
3%.
in 2022, you have $100. 2023 hits, you still have that same $100 number on your bank account, but you can only buy $97 worth of product. So you just actually lost money keeping it in a bank because you're saving money. You actually just effectively withheld your buying power.
Absolutely. Like you said, we're not at 3%.
No.
We're currently in Canada, we just crossed 8%. In the States, they're on their way to 11%. That means if you had 100 grand last year, you were probably better off than 95% of people out there. But guess what? That 100 grand you shoved in the bank last year, you can only buy here in Canada 92 grand worth of shit now and $89,000 worth with that same 100 grand. You went backwards, double digits. How is saving money going to get you somewhere? Why would you put your money in the bank? Is that what the bank does when it gets money? Fuck no, it goes and makes $1 billion, and you guys hate them for it. Remove the fucking bank from the equation. Find out how money is made, and put yourself in that equation. Does that make sense? Do you guys give the bank your fucking money?
No, we take the money from the bank to make more money with it.
Please explain what you just said. What do you mean you take money from a bank?
So we moved here probably 10 years ago with absolutely nothing. And then both my wife and I now make solid salaries, which gives us cash flow, and the cash flow allows us to pull more from the bank. So the more we can take from the bank, the more money we can make with that money that they give us. And that's been the key for us.
Can you go deeper into that? What do you mean you use the bank's money to make money? Because apparently when I say it, nobody fucking listens.
So for example, like for this house, so we saw value in it, we saw the potential in it, we sold our last house, and because of the cash flow that we have, we were able to convince the bank to give us a ton of money. We put minimum down on this house on purpose, and now in the last 12 months the house has doubled in value because we saw the value potential in the house.
I want to pick on that point. Why did you put minimal down on the house?
Because it maximizes your return. So you put 100K down on the house goes up by 800,000, you just made 800% profit in 12 months.
So why don't you pay a house off quickly?
Because the interest rates on the house, mortgage rates are 1.5%, it's like free cash. So you take that money and you put it in everything else that makes money.
Is this fucking rocket science, or are you remembering math from grade 2 and 3? Do you need an educator to tell you this? Well, that's where we are right now. He just told you how to make money. Borrow at low interest rates, make money on it. If the bank's going to let you live in a house for 3.5%, why put 100 grand down? Put your minimum 30 or 40 down, take the other 70 and go put it somewhere that makes 20 points. That means you make 16 or 17 points on that same 100 grand. You don't have to go work harder. You don't have to make more money. The same money thought you were doing well by paying off your mortgage, all you did was defer 3.5% interest. Like these people that come to us and brag and say, I put 30 grand against my mortgage every year. Okay, like I said, you're doing better than 90% of people. Well, let's break that down. You put 30 grand a year into your house. Oh yeah, we'll have our mortgage paid off in 8 years. Like you sound like you know what you're talking about, but let's break it down. You put 30 grand in a year. What does 30 grand against a 3.5% mortgage save you? $1,000 roughly?
It's usually, what is it, $1,000? You save maybe $10, $15 for every 1,000. So call it 30 times 10. Let's be nice, they save $400.
But let's go all the way and say you don't pay about $1,000 interest a year. You're saving $1,000 interest a year, putting 30 grand to pay off your mortgage, because that's the responsible thing to do. Okay, let's turn it around. You don't put that 30 grand on your mortgage. You put 30 grand into something that returns you 20. There's 6,000. Are we losing you? This is grade 4. This is just multiplication table. So you thought you did something so smart, saved up 30 grand a year to defer or to not pay $1,000 in interest on your mortgage, but you gave up $6,000 that you could have invested. So really you could have free mortgage payments. Starting to make some sense? You understand how wealthy people got wealthy? They took nothing from you. They're just smarter than you. So fucking listen.
And even if you get the mortgage at 1.5%, you take all that equity out and throw it in a dividend stock. So that's low risk, basically no risk. You're still making a 3% increment on that above and beyond your 1.5%, and that's zero risk. So
I hope you guys are listening. This is knowledge you can use.
Well, even still on the houses, say everybody's talking about how everything's going to potentially drop 10 to 30%, or sorry, 10 to 30%, yeah. But if that actually happens, you paid off your mortgage, you need some help, you effectively just lost out on your buying power or anything from the bank, because they're now going to assess your house. Say worst case scenario, it's now only $700,000 worth of collateral. You could have still had minimal put into it and not taken and absorbed, say, a $300,000 hit on that right there. And putting minimal down, you could say for that $100,000, you could say put $33,000 on 3 different rental properties, and so you're still in that $100,000 worth of your own money. But now you might say have 4 properties that say $300,000 each. So you now have your $100,000 just bought you almost $1 million in property, and now you're able to cash flow it. So just make your money, make money.
This isn't difficult. And yeah, I get it. We're saying things like 100 grand. A lot of people don't have 100 grand. Well, then don't waste your fucking time saving money to pay off your mortgage. The bank's letting you live in your house for almost interest free. Make that shit take 25 or 30 years. Every billionaire I know has at least a $50 million line of credit. Because why the fuck would they spend their money when they can borrow the banks at 3 or 4%? And then they go and make 20 or 30 points. See how they don't steal anything from average people? You want a lot? There you go.
Keep your assets and principal and everything in your pocket.
Yeah.
So that way if shit does hit the fan, you can actually take care and mitigate it quickly and efficiently without actually locking up and almost being house, so to speak. Unfortunately, some people become house poor. They put everything they have and finance everything, and then they need to work 32 days a month, especially with the most recent occurrence with COVID. Like so many people weren't able to put in regular hour weeks, or unfortunately losing their jobs, losing everything else. When we were talking about saving, not keeping it in the bank, but it's still look out for yourself with emergency funds, or just even if that little bit is still in a bank. Yes, it's not making interest, it's not ideal, but you're still looking out for yourself for the greater good of things. It's sort of a wash, I feel, because at least your day-to-day, I personally try to carry at least 6 months worth of bills at all times. And if it's going to put me even $20 below that, I wait until my next paycheck, make sure everything's good, and it's $20, but who cares? I'm making sure that my bottom line is always in check. That's my own thing.
But that 6 months is going to sit in something making money too.
But my emergency fund originally, I took all that money that I had once it was available, and I learned a little bit more. I was going to put into an RRSP just because without just knowledge base at that time, was sort of the best savings thing. But at the same time, it would have negatively affected me come tax time. So once the tax-free savings account became available, it's good and bad within reason, but I started taking my emergency fund that I already had allocated in my normal bank account. Unfortunately, it wasn't making me any interest, but if something happened, a hot water tank, a car problem or something, I had the money to take care of
shit
it.
that usually cripples people.
Yes.
Losing that $1,000 a month when you're month to month.
What I ended up doing was then taking that money that I had in the account and wouldn't affect me negatively come tax time, went into a TFSA, so some of the stuff was returning 8+%, and if I didn't need it, it's making 8+% and making me money. If I did need it, it was 2 or 3 business days away, and I was still able, with depending on where my contribution room lied, I could sit there and do it. If a calendar year, you take it out. If you don't have contribution room, wait till January 1st, put that back in, ready to go. But in the meantime, have it do something else so that you're getting ahead.
Now, did you just know this, or did you listen to smarter people to tell you how to get ahead?
Just literally, even though people make fun of the oil and gas industry about riggers and stuff being stupid, the one unit and great group of guys I was working with, putting in good hours, making good pay, and it turned into almost like we're sitting down and we have like just group chat, figure stuff out, and it was almost like business within us doing our job, just talking about buying real estate, taking care of things. It was almost like a paid investment and get ahead seminar every day, because we all wanted to have an end game and a way to get away.
Did you hear that? Everybody removed their egos and took the time to educate themselves, so whoever had another piece of knowledge, they didn't fight each other, they all learned from what they did. Wealthy people, they're not worried about competition. They'd rather get together, invest in the same things, and all make money together. They don't sit there and be like, oh no, we don't talk about money, it's too taboo, because it makes me feel bad when I hear someone doing better. No. If you're not talking about money, you're never going to make money. And that doesn't mean money is the root of everything you're doing, or it's evil, or it's this and that. Those are cliches that people say to justify why they're going to live month to month. Because I'll tell you right now, I grew up, single mom, 3 boys, making $16K a year. Not me, my mom, in the 80s. Don't assume we came from money. In 2 decades, not overnight, I'm 2 decades into my hustle. These boys are younger than me. That's why they're here. I don't need to justify shit. These are people probably your age. They're telling you how they're doing shit. All this stuff is a byproduct. This isn't why you become wealthy. This is what you get. I mean, if you want it, you don't have to do it. Look at this house that you see that we're in. These are average. Did you come from money?
Nope.
Did you come from money?
No, not even close, man.
None of these people got a fucking trust fund. I sure as fuck don't have a trust fund. This can happen. So just understand, you are a product of your knowledge, not your starting point, not your current situation. But if you don't associate with the people, what is the saying? Associate with the tax bracket you want to be in, not the people where you already are. You don't leave your friends behind, but if everybody there makes 5 figures, how the fuck are you going to learn how to make 6? 6 figures doesn't make you a better person than 5, but if that's where you want to be, because let's say it's not even for the monetary game to show off a car. Let's say you want to do more charity, you want to retire early. You sure as fuck ain't going to do that on 5 figures. We just said savings don't do shit. It's a little bit of security, but it goes backwards. So you want to add some of that or go to the next one?
See, the other thing is my wife just came here and grabbed a bottle. So the other thing is marrying right.
Oh,
That's
wow.
been huge for us too.
Absolutely.
Make sure you're
shit.
with someone that you want to be with for life, because if you can build together, it's a lot easier when you're building with 2 people versus 1.
These cars are parked in 2s. Wifey's got the equivalent as well, because these guys don't go and roll in a $350,000 car if their wife's driving a Chevy Cobalt.